Hi everybody. So today we're going to continue thinking about Roald Dahl stories. I hope you heard all his different character descriptions and they gave you a good laugh yesterday. Some of them were really funny, weren't they? Well, today we're going to be thinking about exclamation marks. I know that we know lots about exclamation marks. Can you tell someone near you what an exclamation mark is and when we use it? Fantastic, lots of lovely ideas there. That's right. An exclamation mark can be used if you are very cross. If you're writing something and someone is very cross, if they are shouting, exclamation marks are really good. If you're angry and you're shouting and you're cross. Sometimes you can use exclamation marks for excitement, for joy, when something brilliant happens. So there's a few here of different ones. These flowers are so lovely because you're so excited. Or if you're surprised, I can't believe that you came first. That cross one. I hate you when you're really cross and angry. Also, if you're asking for help, help, please help me. And that exclamation mark changes the way I say it. So rather than saying, please help me, I can say, please help me, because an exclamation mark shows that it needs to be said in a slightly different way. Rather than me saying, I hate you, I'm really cross, I say, I hate you. An exclamation mark changes the way we speak, the way we say things. So I've got a link here, just like we did before, to the BBC, and it shows you some different ways about exclamation marks. So if you want to pause me now and go and have a go at a bit more about exclamation marks and come back, you can do. Okay, I hope you had a go at some of the different things for exclamation marks. You're feeling much more confident about when we use them. So now I want to have a look at some of Roald Dahl's work, and one of his best books, in my opinion, is George's Marvellous Medicine. So I've sent you an extract from the story today. You can either have it out in front of you while you're listening to me, or you can do it afterwards, or you can do a bit of both. It's quite a long extract, but there's some brilliant exclamation marks in there for you to spot. So I'm going to read some to you now. Like I say, if you want to hold your piece of paper up now and you can have a look for those exclamation marks, spotting those exclamation marks, get a coloured pencil, you can do it whilst I read. Or you might want to have a listen first and do that afterwards. So this comes from George's Marvellous Medicine. And this is just about when George is going to give his grandmother marvellous medicines to make. So he's a bit excited and a bit nervous, and some very exciting but a little bit worrying things happen. So that's the perfect time to use an exclamation mark. So let me read it to you. Are you going to gulp it all down in one go? George asked her. Or will you sip it? What I do is none of your business, the old woman said. Fill the spoon. As George removed the cork and began very slowly to pour the thick brown stuff into the spoon, he couldn't help thinking back upon all the mad and marvellous things that had gone into making this crazy stuff. The shaving soap, the hair remover, the dandruff cure, the automatic washing machine powder, the flea powder for the dogs, the shoe polish, the black pepper, the horseradish sauce, and all the rest of them, not to mention the powerful animal pills and powders and liquids and the brown paint. Open your mouth wide, Grandma, he said, and I'll pop it in. The old hag opened her small, wrinkled mouth, showing disgusting pale brown teeth. Here we go, George cried out. Swallow it down. He pushed the spoon well into her mouth and tipped the mixture down her throat. Then he stepped back to watch the result. It was worth watching. Grandma yelled, "Owie!" and her whole body shot up, whoosh, into the air. It was exactly as though someone had pushed an electric wire through the underneath of her chair and switched on the current. Up she went like a jack-in-the-box. And she didn't come down. She stayed there, suspended in midair, about 2 feet up, still in a sitting position, but rigid now, frozen, quivering, the eyes bulging, their hair standing straight up on end. Is something wrong, Grandma? George asked politely. Are you all right? Suspended up there in space, the old girl was beyond speaking. The shock that George's marvellous mixture had given her must have been tremendous. You'd have thought that she'd swallowed a red-hot poker the way she took off from the chair. Then she came again with a plop back into her seat. Call the fire brigade! She suddenly shouted. My stomach's on fire! It's just the medicine, Grandma, George said. It's good, strong stuff. Fire! Yelled the old woman. Fire in the basement! Get a bucket! Man the hoses! Do something quick! Call it, Grandma, George said. But he got a bit of a shock when he saw the smoke coming out of her mouth and around her nostrils. Clouds of black smoke were coming out of her nose and blowing around the room. Oh, golly, you really are on fire, George said. Of course I'm on fire, she yelled. I'll be burned to a crisp. I'll be fried to a frizzle. I'll be boiled like a beetroot. And that's where the extract stops. And I love George's marvellous medicine because it's just so exciting. So hopefully you spotted some exclamation marks in there. In fact, I think it's so exciting and funny. You could probably even add some extra exclamation marks in. I think Roald Dahl could have even added some extra ones because it is just so exciting and so funny. It's one of my favourites. So you might have already spotted all the exclamation marks, or you might want to go back and have another look with a grown-up now. That's fine. And then, once you're feeling really confident with exclamation marks, today I'd like you to write a sentence or two that need an exclamation mark at the end. So it could be an exciting sentence with a shout that you might need, or to show that you're really excited and joyful, or to ask for help, or something if you're really cross. So I want you to write me a sentence or two that will have an exclamation mark on the end. It can be anything you like. You could even draw a picture of a person with a speech bubble coming out, and you could see what they were saying that was really exciting, or something that they said was cross, whatever you like, using an exclamation mark. You might even want to continue thinking about Roald Dahl, so think about one of his characters, or think about some of the things that Grandma might have said when she realised what was happening to her. Or you might want to use one of the ideas from the story and do that. But don't forget, no full stops at the end of your sentences today. They need to be big, exciting sentences that need exclamation marks. I hope you've really enjoyed learning about Roald Dahl. I know I have, and I hope you had a brilliant Book Week party. But don't forget, just because Book Week's over doesn't mean you have to stop thinking about Roald Dahl. He is all around us. He's got so many books. So if you've enjoyed this week and thinking about Roald Dahl, pick up another one of his books or find a different author to explore. Because we know at Pashley, books are really good fun. And maybe you could share with your friends some of your favourite ones too. Okay, take care. And I will actually see you really soon now. Bye, everyone.